Hi, this is George, and I'm using my Canson watercolor paper. It's 140 pound apparently, because a lot of you have stated that it is not cotton. What I'm doing is my version of 12 Days of Christmas. So this is 6 by 9, and I'm going to partition it off 3 by 3, more or less. That's 3, that's 3, and that's almost 3. So some of these will be smaller. So the working surface is 4, 5.5. Actually, so let's go with I think that's right. Forgive me, why I try to get the measurements up. So obviously these are not actually even, but what we can do is we have around the tape, we have what I refer to as a bleed area. So I'm going to get my Scotch tape again. Okay. And although I kind of knew I was going to do this, I didn't know exactly how I was going to do it. So, and for so this is going to be primarily about maybe, so I have completed my taping down of 6 sections. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 6 greeting cards, one for each day, and one for each color that I've been given. So these are the initials that I'm going to be working with. And some of these I will turn into a letter art doodle, but some of these won't be, because some of them I don't know if they celebrate Christmas or not. So I'm going to, like this one here, the first 3 are, I don't think they celebrate Christmas, but I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody, so I'm going to do it a bit differently. But I'm going to write down the colors that I'm going to be using. So The A is pink. That's a sister of K, and K is like she likes blue, and her husband, whose initial is E, likes black. So this is going to be a little touch and go as far as what I'm going to do, but that's okay. Because as you know, since I don't know what I'm going to do from minute to minute with my doodles, that's part for the course. And the last one for this go round, I didn't have a chance to ask her, but I will today or tomorrow. So I'm going to put this list somewhere that I don't lose it, because I lose a lot. And let's go for the pink first. And before I forget, I have limited myself to a half an hour per square. So that way, don't worry, it's not going to be a half an hour each day, because I have to edit it down. But that way, when I edit a video that is maybe an hour of painting time, including the dry time, it takes about 2 hours or more to edit it down. So when I limit myself on the duration, I'll be able to make it sooner or less editing. So I'm going to use first my Winsor Newton, and during the process I'm going to be using my Colorado metallics. I don't know which one, but we'll see. I have a spritzer that I'm going to apply a little bit of water to my paints. I'll probably have to spritz it again, but who knows, since I'm limiting the amount of time I'm using for each of the videos. So we know that pink is basically watered down red. So I'm going to apply a little bit of my red here. And I have some water over here. And when I say I'm going to clean my brush, I pat down, get the majority of the water off my brush, and then I have another one over here to, again, clean it a bit, and if necessary, get more water. And when I say clean my brush, basically it's this. And when I have a bit more water than I want to, and I want to tap it to get it somewhat more dry. So another one that I'm going to use is Purple Lake, because I like the color, but also because it's close to the pink on the color wheel, which is good, and it will be harmonious. And I think this one is Illyrian Crimson or magenta, but you can use whatever colors you have. So I'll be going back to these for the painting of the wash and drying out my brush. And I may have to get more paint in the pool, and I'll just be reaching over there. So let's get started. First, I'm going to get some clean water and apply it, and then with the red, and remember, when you apply the pigment with watercolor, it will dry lighter than what appears on the paper. So don't get nervous. A little more. That's good. Now, depending on the content or quality of your paper will depend on how much the watercolor absorbs. Now, since we know that Hansen is not, I'm going to get a little bit more water and apply. So to create some intentional blooms, and I'm going to get a paper towel and lightly dab off some of the water so it won't be very long for it to dry. So I will be back when this is dry. So I use a bit of a blow dryer. I like, if I'm going to use a blow dryer or a heat tool, what I'll do is I will allow the water to mix and mingle with the pigment, and then I will go in about halfway through and speed up the process. I have a tendency to forget to hit the on button for my phone, so my phone knows that I need to record something, but it's slowly getting better. And here I'm going to add some random splotches of color, much like I did when I added the water. Because I want it to be kind of soft and a little bit of undefined. So this I will let dry completely without the blow dryer or the heat tool, and I will be back. Okay, so the painting is dry, and I'm going to use my kneaded eraser to get as much of the pencil up. Take your time, there's no rush. And if some of the pencil remains, no biggie. So how do you like it so far? But wait, there's more. Now, it's kind of cool as an abstract, but I want to a couple of more things. So let's go with this gold, and let's get a little bit of water. Apply it here. Give it a second to let the water do its thing. And I'm going to, when I do metallics on my painting, I like to use a brush that's dedicated to just metallics. That way I'm not taking a chance of messing up my brushes. And this is a brush that I cut down. It was initially a number 4, and I got it from Michael's. So let's start. Careful with that. So what I want you to do is follow the initial drawing of the letter A, and it's kind of light, but I need to go over it a couple of times that's okay. Remember, there's nothing stopping you from taking your time. Especially when you realize that this is the first time I'm doing this painting. And since this is watercolor, and obviously the background is watercolor, I may move it around, meaning moving the watercolor around, but that's to be expected. And unless you're filming yourself doing this, feel free to move your paper around to make it easier on you. But since I'm filming it, I don't really have that option. But that's one of the joys of doing YouTube. And by the time I'm done here, I can go back up here for the second layer. But yeah, again, I'm kind of rushing it because I have the half an hour limit, but you take your time. And when you're done with this, or any kind of watercolor, make sure your watercolor is completely dry. That way, it cuts down on the possibility of mold growing, because you don't know exactly what is part of the process of the binder and stuff. So I'm going to let this dry and move on to the next step. I'm going to remove this, set it aside, and I'm going to go in with my Staedtler 8 pigment liner. I'm going to go in with my 1.0, which is the largest. Well, actually, they have 1.2 and then a chisel point, but I think I'm going to go in with my 1.0 and see if that works for what I want to do. Again, I'm going to go slowly, and if a little bit of gold shines through, no biggie. Going to try to move the paper just a little bit. And I find that if I pull towards me, I have a bit more control on the inking process. But you do you. If not, doesn't work for you, that's fine. And I went over the line of the gold, but that's okay. And I'm going to round out some of the A. And you can do away with this if you want, but I like the extra weight that the rounding out gives me. So how do you like it? See the shiny stuff? That's cool. And if you want, you can have a little bit more color throughout. And for this, I'm going to go in with my number 3 again, a different number 3. But be careful that you don't come up to the ink, because we just did it, so it's going to be wet for a bit. And let's see, let's go with a little bit of Prussian blue to get that contrast. But only if you want to. Because we're still working with the same color palette and hopefully maintaining its color relation to what's going on. And let's go in with this color a bit over here to balance it out. Not a lot, but just enough. And because I don't know when to stop, I'm going to add a bit of gold in the background. So I'll let this dry again and take off some of the tape. I'll be back. Okay, some of it needs to say, George, that's enough. Because, as usual, I'm going to change it up. Now, I like the gold, but I want to have some highlights by placing some dots. So what do you think? Should I have foregone the white dots? Let me know in the comments section below, and we'll go from there. Okay, really, that's it. Now on the back of this, I will sign it and date it. So let's go in and remove some of the tape. I'm not worried about the size over here. But I do want to have a kind of a reveal. I'm cautious because of the Canton being not the highest quality of painting surface as what I have to do with it, because I have a lot of sheets to go through. Now, I don't know how long this video took to do, but I will let you know in the description below how much time I actually spent creating this. Yeah, see a little bit of rippers over there. So, how you like it? Excuse the tape here, but I have more that I need to work on. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you next time. And remember, be kind to yourself, especially when you're doing something that you normally wouldn't do. And be kind to others. Take care and bye.